Rose Anderson, postgrad student at St Sebastian's College.
She tried to run her lover, Felix Darwood, off the road.
She was tutoring my sister's daughter, Tabby.
Slow down, Tabs.
Tabitha was born with a genetic blood disorder. Fanconi anemia.
I'm going to have a baby sister. Congratulations. Oh, Phil, thank you.
Rose Anderson was about to reveal to the world that Professor Flaxmore's precious lost play was actually a fake.
This is the missing stuff from Hathaway's drugs raid.
Harrison Sachs. I didn't kill her. I was going to kill anyone. I'd kill Felix.
Cause of death, blunt force trauma to the left side of the head. And the spatter looks as though the first one put him down, and then they kept on hitting him long after he was dead.
Made a right meal of it.
Different from Rose Anderson. That was clinical. This was...
Frenzied.
something like that.
Or a different person. Constant flow of colleagues and students were going to be knee-deep in fingerprints. I'll get some nice ones off this casing, huh?
Well, it's not my department, but it looks like it's been wiped clean.
Andy? Hello.
Cocaine.
Well, I'm betting it's not baking soda. We get this tested. Time of death?
No sign of rigor mortis. Eyelids are still flaccid. I'd say about an hour.
So around about 5.
I'll know more about the bruising after the post-mortem.
Indeed. So a robbery gone wrong? Or a murder dressed up to look like one?
We've got uniform all over the city looking for Harrison Sachs. Where he works, known locations, known associates, his foster parents in Woodstock, and we've also alerted all of the bus and train stations.
So you think he's our killer?
I think he's doing a pretty good impression.
Keep me informed.
Ma'am.
He can't have just disappeared. He's a bouncer, not Houdini. OK, let us know, huh? Maddox. We managed to lose a suspect.
Can I see you at home later? I think I preferred it when we were building canoes.
No, you didn't. I'm a bad-tempered old grouch who smelt of wood glue.
Yeah, but you were my bad-tempered old grouch who smelt of wood glue.
Robbie! I know what Rose Anderson found out.
See you in the morning. God bless.
Is she all right?
Yeah, she's fine. Everything's gonna be fine now.
Alcmene in Corinth, Euripides' lost play, famously found by Simon Flaxmore, on the back of which he makes his name and he becomes the go-to guy for solving literary mysteries.
And we're here because...
The constellation of Leo. Lying right smack in between Cancer in the east and Virgo in the west. It represented to the Greeks the Nemean lion, slain by Heracles as the first of his 12 tasks. It shone brightly above them in the night sky. Now, shining less brightly, Leo Minor, Little Leo.
What's this got to do with Rose Anderson?
In Alcmene in Corinth, when he unknowingly purchases his own daughter Tisiphone as a slave, don't ask, he stood outside of his tent at daybreak and said to his servant, "What stars are those steering their course yonder?" To which the old retainer replied, "The twin lions of Nemea, still running high at this hour."
So big Leo and little Leo.
Yeah, but Leo Minor wasn't known as that until the late 17th century. To Euripides, it would have just been a faint collection of stars, not part of any constellation at all.
17th century.
1687, to be exact.
So why would Euripides be referring to the twin lions?
He wouldn't.
Flaxmore's status seems to be largely based on his authentication of his play. If Rose Anderson can show that his authentication's wrong...
You'll end up making him look pretty stupid, which I'm guessing he wouldn't like.
But then why kill Felix?
Rose Anderson didn't get there by herself.
You knew what Rose Anderson had discovered. What's this got to do with Felix?
Answer the question, please.
Rose, yes, well, she hadn't discovered anything. It's more like she noticed an anomaly.
An anomaly?
Yeah. I said I'd look into it. I thought maybe I mistranslated. Now, ancient Greek can be a bit slippery sometimes.
But you hadn't, had you? You don't make mistakes like that. Leontes Diodedimo, 2 lions, twins. It's right there in the text. So it's not that slippery.
I really don't think that you
Where
can...
were you 3 nights ago when she was killed?
Yes, I had a college dinner at 8. Fundraising. Had a speech to make. Unlike some of the flashier colleges, we're constantly trying to raise funds.
Outstanding. You have people who can corroborate this.
About 150.
What about before that?
I was here, going over my speech with Karen, my PA.
And yesterday, between 4 and 5?
Well, I was here, and then I went home.
Anyone corroborate that?
No.
Yes?
I was with Felix yesterday afternoon. I wanted to talk to him about using the planetarium as a venue. But he was alive when I left him.
You'll need to take your fingerprints then. If you don't mind. Today, please.
Even if Rose had found a way of showing that the play was not by Euripides, why would I hide that? I'm a scholar, gentlemen.
When we get these prints, let's run them against the database, just in case. Back to the station.
No, I wonder where Philippa Garwood was yesterday afternoon.
She was with you, wasn't she?
Yeah, not all of the time.
Just put it through there. No problems. I don't know where Harrison is.
I can link him to 2 murders. If you know where he is, Chloe, and you're not telling us, then you're assisting an offender.
Wait, sorry, 2 murders?
Felix Garwood. He was found dead yesterday afternoon, around about the same time that Harrison went missing. You ever think about that? And give me a ring.
I really don't think it's hit her yet.
I don't think it's hit us yet, to be honest.
Where were you 2 yesterday afternoon?
Us?
You knew both victims.
Well, I know, but I don't
Yeah,
see
I
what...
was working, and Jenny, you were...
I was with Tabitha.
Working until when?
Well, about 7. I try to get home before Tabby goes to bed.
How long had Felix and Philippa been married?
12 years. She gave him 12 years. I'm not really sure what he gave her.
Jenny.
Well, I'm just saying. She loved him. And he treated her like... No. He could be the most attractive, charming man, but he was also poison. We're well shot of him.
We?
He lied to my sister. Which means he lied to all of us.
There's miles of the stuff. I think it's bindweed. Was it quick? Do you think? 1 minute he's awake and then... I mean, that would be okay, wouldn't it, if...
I hope so. Yesterday you left me for 40 minutes. Where did you go? I have to ask.
Do you?
You know I do.
I told you. I had a meeting with a student. An essay they were having trouble with. I was with them, and then I came straight back.
I'm gonna need a name.
I didn't kill my husband, D.I. Hathaway.
It's Japanese, not weird.
What?
It's not bindweed, it's Japanese, not weird.
What a lot you know.
Not about the important stuff.
Don't worry, routine elimination. Consider me eliminated.
If you want me to say anything at all.
We won't come to that.
Felix Garwood tox report positive for cocaine and analysis of what was found on the telescope.
Isopropyl alcohol, hexyl cinnamol, menthol. Wipes, in other words.
Does the astrophysics department have CCTV?
Yeah, except it was smashed in 2 weeks ago. Students protesting against Big Brother.
And where are we on Harrison Sachs?
He used his credit card to buy one-way ticket to Liverpool.
Great.
I've sent his picture and details to Merseyside Police. And to every force between here and there.
I've seen tanks smaller than Harrison Sachs. We're just glad to have you back in one piece.
Guys. Ran Flaxmore's prints. We have a match.
Simon Flaxmore is Linus Cage?
Who the hell is Linus Cage?
Oh, I know I saw it not that long ago. Oh, I think this might be it. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Yes, here we are. Simon Flaxmore's job application, April 1992.
Impressive.
He is, isn't he? I knew, of course, the minute he walked in. You can tell the ones who've got star quality.
What you remember when he arrived?
He said he liked my hair. I'd just had a pixie cut a few weeks before. No one had noticed. And I'd just as well have been invisible. But when Professor Flaxmore saw me, he complimented me. And I felt...
Can we keep this?
I'll make a copy for you. I'm not meant to. I told the other girl she couldn't have one. But as you're the police...
What other girl?
The one who was killed. She was in here 2 weeks ago. And now here you are, asking this... Oh.
Anything from East Sussex Police?
Yeah, they finally dug out the file. So Linus Cage had some sort of scam involving antique books in Brighton. He did 5 years in Wandsworth prison for fraud, and then he got out in 1985.
And then what?
And then he disappeared, apparently. There's no record of him anywhere.
Till 1992, when Simon Flaxmore pops up in a puff of blue smoke and takes up a position as reader of classics at St Sebastian's.
Counted on in 7 years now. That is impressive.
Well, I checked the references that Flaxmore gave on his CV from Bristol University and the University of Melbourne. I also tried to track down the PhD in rhetoric in tragedy.
And?
And the references are all false. The PhD doesn't exist. It's just all fantasy.
Well, maybe Rose Anderson found that out.
Well, Flaxmore thought she was about to.
Professor Flaxmore is in college, and I'm sure he's told you everything.
Have you ever heard of Linus Cage?
Who?
May we come in, Miss Newman?
No. No, no, that's not possible.
How long have you worked for him?
Since 1994.
It's a long time. You must be very loyal.
It's not hard to be loyal to someone you admire.
After he was released from prison, Linus Cage completely reinvented himself. New identity, knew everything.
And then in 1992, he re-emerged as a classics scholar at St Sebastian. Nice new life. Safe. So long as no one found out.
Like Rose Anderson did.
You're wrong. He's a brilliant man. He would never do something like that.
How long have you been in love with him, Miss Newman?
No, you listen. You listen to me! Do you really want to take that chance? Okay. If it has to be tomorrow, then... Fine. Whatever.
Professor Flaxmore says he was with you going over his speech.
That's right.
All evening.
2 murders. If you're protecting him...
He lies. That's what he does. He lies like other people breathe.
You don't have to be loyal to him anymore. He doesn't deserve it.
He wasn't with me. He went out about 6, and I didn't see him until he came back here later.
Where is he now?
He said he was on his way to see Philippa Garwood.
Albion and Corin.
We put it on that first summer.
You persuaded me to join in the chorus.
Just for one night. You had to be a part of it.
Hearing those words. Seeing it come alive. It was magical.
And I thought it was just because you like to wear a mask.
You were my best student. Oh, yes. You were my favorite. That's why I won. I need you to understand.
Understand what?
The things I've done. Don't answer that. Please.
You have reached the voicemail of Dr. Philippa Garwood. I'm sorry I'm not here to take your call. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Philippa, it's James Hathaway.
That play. If I'd not found it, I'd still... It's funny, though, isn't it? The expert in Greek tragedy, brought low by a single moment of hubris. The gods must be laughing. Those who the gods wish to destroy, they first make mad. Isn't that the same? One mistake is the one. It's only once. I'm a good man. I am. You have to believe me. You must.
In there.
Linus?
I didn't kill anybody.
We don't have any physical evidence. We've got no eyewitnesses. Nothing to place him at either of the scenes.
Yeah. What?
Two stab wounds. First to the abdomen, which incapacitated her.
Don't tell me. The other severed a carotid artery. It's like Rose Anderson.
Same killer?
Looks likely. No forced entry, no sign of robbery. And she was going somewhere in a hurry. Why?
Home late again tonight.
Probably.
Robbie. Returned bus ticket to Woodstock yesterday.
Harrison Sachs's foster parents live at Woodstock.
The uniform interview done. They said they hadn't seen him in months.
Why don't we go and ask them for ourselves? Mr. Van Broek.
That's right.
D.I. Lewis, D.I. Hathaway.
We'd like to talk to you about Harrison Sachs.
I already told you lot. We haven't seen him.
Yeah, I'm afraid his girlfriend, Chloe Ilson, was found murdered this morning.
I saw her yesterday afternoon. Chloe. She was so excited.
About what?
She said that she had a plan. How to get us both out of here. Start over. Anywhere we liked.
What sort of plan?
Just that she was going to get me my money back. And that I mustn't worry. She said everything was going to be fine. Do you think that that's why she's been... What was she thinking?
I'm fine. No, look, I've got it, okay? I said I'm fine. Just go and play with Tabby, okay? What? I can take care of everything, you know?
Felix Garwood called you on the afternoon that Rose Anderson was murdered.
So?
Well, he knew you had formed, didn't he? GBH, with and without intent. ABH, assault, battery.
What? You think he got me to do something to Rose?
Did he?
She was carrying his kid. Do you really think he would have hurt her?
Rose Anderson wasn't pregnant.
Wasn't she?
Why did you think she was?
Valentine's Day, Felix came to see me at the club. Wanted to buy a couple of grams. Said it was time for some changes. Celebrating the fact that he had a kid on the way.
Sir, Chloe Ilson's prints match the ones found on the bag of cocaine in Felix Garwood's rooms.
What, she was selling him the drugs?
If she was at Felix's, maybe she'd witnessed something. Seen the killer.
I prefer to be here. It's easier somehow. There's only so much gardening I can do.
Felix said he was going to be a father.
Rose was pregnant.
No.
Someone was. Just not me. Unless I'm lying, of course. Which makes me just another suspect, someone to observe. Trip up. Is that what I am?
Maybe she is lying.
What? So she thought Rose Anderson was pregnant with Felix's child. This is all about revenge?
She kills the husband, his lover, and the unborn child.
Now, that sounds like a Greek tragedy.
Of course she didn't. She's totally innocent and we're barking up the wrong tree.
Or Harrison Sachs is wrong. Or misheard or misunderstood.
Or Felix knocked someone else up.
Valentine's Day, that's it.
What is?
Well, Valentine's Day was when Felix started talking about being a dad.
So?
It was also the day that Brightway started their IVF treatment. Mr. Brightway? Oh.
Hello again.
Is your wife at home?
She's taken Tabitha to the hospital. Blood transfusion. It's routine. Can I help?
We'd like to talk to you about your IVF treatment.
What about it?
Felix Garwood?
You'd best come in. Jenny and I were going through it. It was hard for her. I'd just qualified. I was working all hours. I just wasn't paying attention. She was lonely, and there was Felix. I never knew. It didn't last long, just long enough.
You didn't know that Tabitha was his?
Why would I? And then we found out about the Fanconi anemia. I tried everything I could. I checked out every crackpot cure, every herbal remedy, anything, if I thought it might. When it's your baby, you do anything.
And then you found out about the saviour sibling?
It was like a gift from the gods. A way to save her and a chance for us to have another child, which we'd wanted for so long. The clinic was right here in Oxford. It was like it was meant to be. All we needed was a genetic match, and we were home free.
And that's when you found out you weren't Tabitha's dad.
But Jenny had to tell me that it was Tabby's best hope of a cure. What choice did she have?
So Jenny and Felix went through with the IVF?
Yes.
And does her sister know?
I mean, does Philippa know that her husband slept with her sister?
What good would that do? She doesn't have to know, does she?
What about you?
Me?
How do you feel about it?
The affair was a long time ago.
Even so, to be lied to like that?
My daughter has a chance of a life. What I feel doesn't really come into it, does it?
Visual aids, Robbie. Your graphic design skills are really coming along.
OK. So, Felix Garwood and Jenny Brightway start the latest IVF treatment here. Previous attempts had failed, so there's a lot riding on it, with Tabitha's life at stake. But they won't know whether it's been successful for a little while.
Felix breaks up with Rose Anderson. She doesn't like it and tries to run him off his bike, and then she ends up dead.
And a short time later, Jenny discovers that she's pregnant.
Between starting treatment and Jenny being pregnant, Felix Garwood is a valuable commodity.
Yeah, sure. Jenny and Paul certainly couldn't afford for him to be hurt or hospitalised or worse.
And suddenly here's Rose Anderson threatening to do all three. Do you think those two ever wished she wasn't around?
Lizzie, the witness who reported the hit and run, can you get me that tape, please?
Sir.
I think I've just seen an attempted murder. Someone in a car deliberately tried to knock a man off his bike.
Jenny
I
Brightway.
didn't get the number plate, but I recognise the driver. Her name is Rose Anderson.
Yes, I made the call.
Whose idea was it?
Mine. Felix had recognised Rose behind the wheel, and he was scared. He said she'd been sending him text messages. Really horrible. He was convinced she'd tried to kill him and that she'd do it again.
Why didn't he report her himself?
Felix had been warned before about sleeping with the students, so I guess he was afraid he'd lose his job.
So you decided to deal with it yourself?
I thought I could get her arrested. I just wanted her to leave Felix alone.
You thought that you would scare her off, that's what you thought.
This treatment it's ruined us financially. We only had enough money for one more round of IVF, and if that failed, if anything happened to Felix...
Yeah, but it didn't work, did it? Rose wasn't arrested. She was still going to be a problem.
Did you kill her?
What? No, that's ridiculous.
You don't have an alibi.
No, but I was with Tabitha, I told you.
What about the night Felix Garwood was killed?
You think I killed Felix is my brother-in-law. He may have been a crap husband, but he was Tabby's father, and he's my baby's father. Look, Tabby will be finished soon, so... Look, all I've ever wanted is to give Tabby a family that she can grow up in. What would be the point if by saving her life I then destroyed it?
Back to square one?
No, close. I can feel it.
Well, think about it from a different perspective. Rose Anderson's murder was definitely planned. Not shred of physical evidence, nothing on the weapon, nothing anywhere, so the killer definitely knew what they were doing.
Same goes for Chloe Ilson.
I bet Felix Garwood was a spur-of-the-moment thing.
I want to go back where Felix Garwood was killed. Maddox is right. His murder was the odd one out. If the killer made a mistake, it's there. So, the row. The murderer picks up the telescope, and bang! Now he has to clear up. He's looking around, and what? He uses the wipes to clear off any traces from the murder weapon.
It's a bit of luck, wasn't it, finding them just when he needs them?
Well, it's the astrophysics department, there's a lot of high-end glass.
Yeah, but you've just killed someone, remember? You're panicking, you're not making assumptions. You're desperate, you're looking round for something, and... The drawer was shut. They were all shut.
So?
So how did the murderer know that the wipes were there?
Looks for them?
Yeah, but when you're that desperate, you don't open the drawer and neatly close it again, do you? You scrabble. It's a whirlwind. You fling the drawers open, you grab what you're looking for. You don't leave everything nice and neat. What were the chemical traces found on that telescope again?
Isopropyl alcohol, hexyl, cinnamol, menthol.
These are different.
So what sort of wipes did the killer use then?
Lens wipes. For glasses.
Do you suppose we're looking for an optician?
She hasn't got eyes yet.
I think we better do the eyes. Right, let's have a look at theirs.
Paul?
Lizzie!
Should we go outside and play?
However hard you try, something always goes wrong.
Such as Felix Garwood?
You went to see him, didn't you? You argued. You grabbed the first thing at hand and you clubbed him to death with it.
Nonsense.
And then you cleaned up the telescope with wipes you brought from work.
I'd like you to leave.
Did you kill Rose Anderson too?
No, he didn't.
I have an alibi.
Conference, Cheltenham.
That's right.
You were seen going into an event at 4 and you were seen at dinner at 8:30.
So?
Which gave you just enough time to take the 4:32 from Cheltenham, find Rose Anderson, kill her and be back in time for dinner.
Do you know how ridiculous that sounds?
CCTV photographs from Cheltenham Spa Station on the afternoon of Rose Anderson's murder. This is you buying a ticket at exactly the time that you say you were at this conference.
You can't see the face. You can't see who it is.
No, but you can see the friendship bracelet on the wrist. It's the one that Tabitha made for you, isn't it?
Paul?
Tabby's life was at stake. Rose wasn't going to stop until she... We couldn't afford that. I worked out how to get here and back to Cheltenham without anyone noticing. Took a knife from the hotel. I knew where Rose went running, so I waited for her.
You didn't plan to kill Felix Garwood, though, did you?
He said he was going to take you all away. That you were going to leave me. And he was going to take his children. Tabitha and the baby. And there was nothing that I could do.
Chloe Ilson?
She was coming out of Felix's as I was going in. When she found out that Felix had been killed, she wanted money. £20,000. I told her that we didn't have it, but she wouldn't listen. After the others, what choice did I have? She was going to spoil everything.
Paul, those girls, their families...
I did this for our family.
Felix...
He said that you still loved him. I was so scared. I was so scared.
Oh, you fool! He kept on at me, but I told him, I told him that you are Tabby's father and nothing will change that.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't help it. He was laughing at me. I just wanted to make him stop. I had to make him stop.
Paul. But if it's...
I'm so sorry.
No.
So I need you to look after Mum. Daddy loves you so much. Come on.
He's leaving, effective immediately. Pending further action by the college.
No, they'll just bury it, hiring someone without checking their references.
He may not have a choice. He has a book deal. They say Karen secured it. My story. How I blagged my way onto the high table with just an O-level in woodwork.
Probably a fake as well.
He's resilient. I'll give him that.
Gods must love him.
Come on. Why are you here, officer?
To return this, and thank you for it. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
So, what are we having?
I've no idea. You won't let me anywhere near the kitchen.
Just have a little faith. I'm in complete control.
Pride comes before a fall.
Not this time.
It's not really one of those Voyage of Discovery meals, is it?
I'm hoping not. Why? What did you discover?
Usually that you're not very hungry.
I give you the authentic taste of Italy, albeit via the Cowley Road.
Pizza.
You can't go wrong.
Do you want your wine?
Yes, please.
What's up?
Nothing has more strength than dire necessity.
Don't tell me Euripides. Doesn't work like that.
You two finished yakking?
Not for a long time.